Hi, my name's Tristan. I'm in the 6th grade and I'll be breaking down what anime is. Anime always starts off with a script. A script is produced by the artist who developed the original manga. So you don't get confused, a manga is an anime but in comic book form, and it can come in hundreds of chapters. Now back to how anime is made. When the manga is done, it gets sent to the director for a lengthy review process. After this process, it then gets greenlit. Greenlit means to check over and see if you have permission to go through with it. Next, we have the storyboard. These storyboards include drawing movements, planning of the camera, and the length of each shot. After the process, layouts for the actual scenery and landscapes that take place. First, they draw on paper and it's reviewed, so the producers can talk about and add things to the scene. Once it's finalized, it goes to the landscape department where they used to hand paint them. They don't do it so much now, it's mostly digital landscapes. Common examples of old school anime that were painted such as Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, Naruto, and Death Note. Thankfully we have key animation. Key animators draw the first frame and last frame mainly. Once the key animation is done for every frame, it'll go over to the in-between animators. Also, here's something you might find interesting. When the key animators are drawing, they have to use references so they get everything correct. Sometimes the key animator uses a mirror so he can use his own body in some occasions to see what the color might best fit for skin tone. After the key animators are done, it goes in between animators, who make sure that the animation is solid fluid movement by tracking the 3 pictures or more. Basically, drawing the frames in between those motion keys. The animators usually are more than one amateur. They're less expensive most of the time. They're brought in from South Korea over to Japan, and that's why some anime didn't look very good, because they were drawn by less experienced animators who were brought in for more complex animation. Animators who worry about those in-between fluid movement animations are key animators too. What you should understand is that her animation, just a 30-minute episode, can have as many as 15,000 redrawn pictures. After all the animations are complete, it goes over to compositing. Compositing is a slew of different departments, but primarily it is the coloring studio. The shading is also where they put and fill all of the lines of the animation that has also been created with the correct colors. Now a lot of these companies have entire departments just for coloring because it's so time consuming. Each of these artists will be given a correct palette of the colors to use to ensure that all the characters keep and maintain their level and quality of colors throughout the entire animation. Sometimes they'll be in a cave or in a building where there's not as much light and will be given a different color palette for the darker shades. That's why sometimes you'll see characters having different shades of color, whether it's in their clothes or their skin. Final stage of production is effects. The effects department will take the fully drawn and animation fully colored with the landscapes and more. But basically the rest of the departments are done at this point. Now we start adding the effects. The effects could be lightning glows, as shading, blurs, or various effects to ensure that the animation looks amazing. And finally, post-production, which doesn't have a lot to talk about, mainly just editing and checking to see if there was any drawing mistakes. That should wrap it up, and I hope you enjoyed this lesson on anime.